You'll never guess what's next. He ignored his dishevelment and threw the file to safety. A passerby saw and rushed to help. The moment he spotted the file, Mel froze next to it, not just because he accidentally hurt Dixon, but he never thought that. The abyss came from an enemy, he thought. Police came fast. The man, crushing on Mel, lied to free him. He lied to the new sheriff, claiming that Mel had stayed with him all night long. Since their accounts were in perfect alignment, the sheriff didn't know what to do. So, Mel's suspicion was cleared. Dixon, badly burned, entered the ward wrapped in bandages, only to find out that his roommate was the ad shop owner had beaten before. At first, the owner didn't recognize him, approached gently, and asked if he wanted orange juice. Dixon stared at the kindness. Feelings of regret surged within him, and then tears began to pour uncontrollably as he was extremely furious, his body trembling. But when he finally calmed down, he still limped over and quietly poured a cup of orange juice for him, even adjusting the straw for Dixon's convenience. That cup of orange juice symbolized forgiveness, and this small act felt like a snowball melting. It finally shattered the years of hostility inside Dixon. He suddenly realized that violence and hatred only deepen learning. His true strength comes from understanding and tolerance. Not everyone will retaliate, and not everyone he's harmed desires revenge. The world can be cruel, yet tender enough to bring tears. At that moment, he first realized true strength isn't about punching. It's about choosing kindness in the face of pain. After being discharged, Dixon went to a bar alone and accidentally overheard a guy bragging to his friends about having killed a girl, detailing the crime like he was reciting a story. Despite the rage boiling inside him nearly pushing him over the edge, Dixon kept his cool. He quietly slipped out of the bar and jotted down the guy's license plate. Then he swung back in, pretending to do magic, and scratched the guy's face with his fingernail, successfully riling. The guy slammed him to the ground, and beaten up, Dixon returned home, ignoring his mother's questions, and locked himself in the bathroom. He carefully used a small knife to scrape the guy's skin cells and collected them for the embassy. The next day, he rushed to Mill, telling him this might just be the killer. He urged Mill not to give up. Seeing the bruised Dixon, Mill felt touched, as if he could see a glimmer of something deeper. His voice was low and steady. At that moment, the two crossed a bridge over discipline and hatred, achieving mutual redemption. After saying goodbye to Mill, Dixon took his collected samples to the precinct, where the chief praised his efforts highly. But Dixon didn't care. After verification, that guy was cleared. His samples didn't match the suspect. He was in Iraq at the time of the crime, so there's no way he could have done it. Still, Dixon knew deep down that even if he wasn't the killer in this case, he definitely was still a person who deserved to be punished. He should face the law. But the chief said there was nothing he could do. Feeling defeated, Dixon returned home and pulled out a shotgun. After pondering for a long time, he glanced at his aging mother, ultimately stopped his hand, and shared this disappointing news with Mill. When Mill heard the outcome, he could no longer hold back his emotions. For the first time, he choked up as the last shred of hope shattered. So whatever he did, I know it's all here. Sorry, I let your hope down. It's alright, it's alright. At least I had hope for a day, which is more than I have for a good night's sleep. But at that very moment, Dixon came up with a new thought, pondering over something. Subtitles: in the past 3 days, he was even skinnier than Hallow. And boy, I totally disliked the linguistics. This place, like ancient Europa, it's the first time seeing all these things if you cross over the ages. If you're stuck in this area, just go back and look for better Martha. And then Belden again, which is why we can't let this happen. I went to a hell. Did you go to a hell as well? It was really interesting. I went there this morning. Want to drop by the company? Of course. After hanging up, Dixon said goodbye to his mother. Mill said goodbye to her son too. The two finally let go of their anger but still hung on to it while packing their bags. In the middle of it, Mill looked at the burned Dixon, confessing that the fire at the precinct was set by her. Dixon wasn't even surprised. Well, who else would it be? Mill laughed, and at that moment, you could tell he was completely at peace. Are you sure? I killed that guy. Not so sure. How about you? Not really sure either. Guess we could take some time to decide. And just like that, the movie concludes. It's not just a suspenseful quest, but a deep analysis of human nature. Mill transformed from an angry middle-aged woman battling life's absurdities to someone who could let go of hate and empathize with others. Accepting herself, Mill realized that the justice she was after wasn't just about solving a mystery or retaliating against those she thought deserved punishment. Instead, she uncovered the true power of forgiveness and understanding. Dixon's character is probably the most controversial. His violent and extreme actions can be quite off-putting. But as the plot unfolds, Dixon shows his inner struggles and transformation, revealing the strength of forgiveness and understanding, making us realize that justice is not only external judgment, but also inner change and reflection. True peace and liberation come through forgiveness and understanding.